Shiv Narayan, Connie, welcome again.
Shiv Narayan, Afrodita. Very, very happy to be here again.
Very grateful that you are here. Very grateful to our guru, Prashant Trivedi, that is allowing this talk to have today together. So people will get to know more about the things that we have talked last time and new things that we will tell today.
Yes, exactly. Well, as you know, Afrodita, in our latest session, we were talking about the first house. And we mentioned several things about the first house, right? We mentioned that is the most important house. Because if there is no first house, we don't have a physical body, right? That's what we were saying the other day. And therefore, you don't exist in this realm, all right? Which means that the rest of the houses, which are determined by the sign present in the first house, wouldn't have any relevance and they wouldn't be in operation, all right? This is an important point to remember, okay?
Yes.
So, yes.
So there must be an order of the zodiac signs?
Yes, of course, of course.
What is the order of zodiac signs, Connie?
Yeah, of course, Afrodita. Today we are going to understand this order. We are going to explain it a little bit further. So the signs, the order of the signs of the zodiac is Aries first, okay? We are talking of the natural order, all right? So Aries is always going to be related to the first house, all right? So Aries is related as well to the number 1. Taurus is related to the number 2. Gemini is related to the number 3, and also meaning the third house, yeah? Kark, which this is also important to say these things. It's not good to use
Is it Cancer
the name of an illness to say Cancer. Instead, we are going to use the Sanskrit name, which is Kark, which means Cancer, obviously, the sign of Cancer. The 5th house is related to the sign of Leo. Then we have number 6 is related to Virgo, all right? Number 7 is related to Libra. Number 8, and again, this is related to numerology as well, okay? We are talking of Scorpio, number 8, and the house number 8, right? Numerology, the number of the house, and the sign. Everything is connected. Even in the tarot, the tarot is related to astrology. All the sciences are related one with the other, right? So Sagittarius is going to be number 9. Capricorn is going to be number 10. Aquarius, as we all know, is going to be number 11.
And Pisces.
That's going to be number 12. Yes.
So what does it mean actually that this about this order? Like, is that right?
Yeah, what I wanted to explain, Afrodita, is that initially we need to understand that what we have just said, that the natural order of the signs is initially naturally related to the houses, all right? That's why this order. But we can put an example. For example, we have this birth chart, right, that your spectators can see on the screen. And obviously this, with this example, we are going to explain something. Obviously, we have just explained the natural order of the signs, right? It will be, in general, we would say that Aries is related to the first house. Taurus is going to be related to the second house, but obviously not all birth charts are going to have Aries in the first house, because that would mean, Afrodita, that everyone would be Aries Ascendant, right?
Which is not the case.
Which is not the case, obviously. So that means that this is just the general rule. We need to understand the connection between the houses and the signs. But, for example, in this chart, we can see on the screen, we can see number 12. As we have just said a minute ago, number 12 is related to Pisces. Therefore, this chart has a Pisces ascendant, all right?
Exactly.
Lagna is also called Lagna in Sanskrit, okay? Ascendant is called Lagna, right?
Mhm.
And we see that it's located in the first house. That means that the second sign is going to be, or the second house is going to contain Aries, because this is the order of the signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, until we get to Pisces. And what happens when we get to Pisces, Afrodita? That the cycle starts again with Aries, right? So as we can see, we have number 12, which is Pisces Ascendant, and then we have in the second house, we have Aries, number 1. So it's very important that we don't confuse the number 1
with the house.
With the house. That is
because the 1 is like 1, which is in this case, in the picture, it is the second house. Right.
Exactly, Afrodita. Exactly. We should not confuse that number 1 with the first house. That is the second house. It contains the sign Aries, which is the sign number 1. Yes. Then in the third house, we are going to have the sign of Taurus, which is the sign number 2. In the fourth house, we are going to have the sign of Gemini, which is the sign number 3. In the fifth house, we are going to have the sign Car, right? It says 4, but it's not the fourth house, it's the fifth house. And that way with all the chart until we get to the 12th house. And what is the 12th house? It contains the sign Aquarius, which will be the last sign of this birth chart, since it is contained in the 12th house.
Can I ask you about that people can see their own chart? Because, for example, we have taken a person in this case, in the picture that we saw. You know, these Albanians especially are so curious to see their Lotus Ocean students, especially, they're curious to see their chart. What they have in the first house, which sign is in the second, etc. Is that possible through Pitti's grace?
Absolutely, Afrodita. Prashant Trivedi has a wonderful app called Prash Real Vedic Chart. And they can download it. That way they can put their details, their birth details, and whoever is interested, they can see their birth chart.
Go to Google Play Store and type the name Prash Real Vedic Chart. And you can see the app appears in the Google Play Store, and then you can press the install button to install the app. Once the app is installed, you can open the app. As soon as you will open the app, you will find a login screen. You can log in with your credentials. If you are new to the app, then you have to register first. So you have to provide your name, email address, password, and location, and click on register. As soon as you register, you will be able to log in with your credentials. Once you log in, first screen will appear where you can generate your chart. You can provide your name, details like the time, the date, and the location, and then click on the save. For example, I say I want the chart for today, for this date 9/7/2022, and the time is 9:05 p.m. and I select the location as New York, and I click on save, then create. As soon as I click create, I see the record here, and now I'm able to see the chart. And if you want, you can create more charts over here.
Yeah, they just put the date, where they're born, the place, right? And they need to know the exact time, right? Also?
Yes, they need to know the exact time. Yes, they should know the exact time. Yeah, they should. Otherwise, this is not going to provide an accurate reading of a birth chart. Because obviously the birth chart is determined by the time one is born, because that's when the ascendant, in fact, is going to be determined by that, right? The sign that is rising in the east at that time is going to become the sign present in the first house. For example, in this chart, when this person was born, the sign and the constellation that was rising at night in the east was Pisces. That's why that person is Pisces Ascendant, simply because of that reason, because the constellation that was rising in the east at that time was Pisces. Half an hour later, or maybe 1 hour later, that person would have been Aries Ascendant. Yeah.
So fast.
So that's what's important. So first of all, let's remember that a birth chart is composed of 12 houses, which we already know, 12 signs and 9 grahas, okay?
Yes.
So today we are going to go deeper into the signs ownership by their respective grahas, all right?
Yes.
This is essential in order for us to understand how to read a birth chart, okay? We need to know that there's going to be certain ownerships by these grahas. And the signs are going to be owned by all these planets, okay? We need to know who owns which, right? To be able to
So what signs do grahas own? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, of course, Afrodita. We are going to start with Sun, all right? So Sun owns Leo, right?
Yes.
Moon owns Kark.
Yes.
Mars owns 2 signs, Aries and Scorpio. Jupiter owns Sagittarius and Pisces, all right? Saturn owns Capricorn and Aquarius. Mercury owns Gemini and Virgo. And Venus owns Libra and Taurus, right?
Yes.
And then we have the lunar nodes, okay, called Rahu and Ketu. They are like shadow grahas that don't officially own any sign. We will talk about this a little bit later, all right? We also need to understand the qualities of the zodiac signs, all right? These signs have qualities, right? And these qualities are divided into cardinal, fixed, and mutable.
Yes.
Right?
Very interesting. Is that connection with the elements, earth, these things, or?
Actually, Afrodita, the connection is in the fact that the signs are also divided, as you will say, into elements.
Yes.
All right, so they're going to be divided by their qualities, and they're going to be divided by elements as well. And this, it can be seen in the chart we have here as well, that the division is dual, is into qualities and into elements, all right? So we're going to start first explaining what is cardinal, then fixed, and then mutable, right? Yes. So we understand. Okay, so the 12 signs, of the 12 signs, 4 are going to be cardinal, okay? 4 will be cardinal. And they are the front runners in the zodiac, right? Why is that? Because they initiate the 4 seasons, right? Meaning, Aries is going to be the first sign of spring. Yes. This has a lot of signification, because obviously, when we explain the sign Aries, Aries represents the beginning of spring. Everything is thriving. That energy, that's the Aries energy of the beginning of spring. Yeah. Yes. Then we have Cancer or Kark. Okay, we don't say the word Cancer, we say Kark.
Yes.
That initiates summer. Okay. So again, the same principle, Afrodita. There are signs that are very, they tend to start ideas, projects, because they always initiate the seasons. So they have this sort of entrepreneur, we can say, the attitude. They like to start things. Also Libra, which starts autumn, right? And also autumn, and also Capricorn, which starts winter. Therefore, all these signs have the essence of this beginning of the season.
Exactly.
Then Libra, the same thing. Autumn is coming. There's going to be a clear change, and the leaves are falling. So it's much more, there's a fluidity in that. Now suddenly it's not about the fruits. Now it's about, there's a change happening in the season.
Logical.
Completely,
Vedic.
exactly. And then, yeah, absolutely. And then winter is Capricorn, is the beginning of winter. That's going to be already a very, we will explain about this, but Capricorn contains the essence of the beginning of winter. That's why it's a cardinal sign. Okay, so we have Aries, Card, Libra, and Capricorn. Those will be the cardinal signs that start each respective season. All right,
Very
spring,
nice.
summer, autumn, and winter. This is all very important in order to be able to read the chart, because the
Yes.
signs come with these essences. All right.
We are
Then
now interested to know about the fixed signs, all right?
Yes, absolutely, Afrodita. Now we are going to explain the fixed signs. Okay, these signs are in the middle of the season, okay? So they tend to be stable, determined, unchangeable, because it is the middle of the season, right? When we're in the middle of the spring, it's still spring. Nothing is going to change. It's not going to be suddenly winter. It's not going to be autumn. It's going to be spring. Okay, so the determination and the stability comes from that. Now they are not cardinal signs. This is not the beginning of something new. This is the middle of the season. So in this case, we have Taurus, which is the middle of spring. We have Leo, which is the middle of summer. We have autumn. Well, sorry, we have Scorpio, which is the middle of autumn. Yes. And we have Aquarius, which is the middle of winter.
Winter.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So, yes, so all the signs are going to embody those qualities, the qualities of the middle of the season. Yeah. And then finally, we're going to have mutable signs, right? These signs mark the end of a season and the beginning of the next. So therefore, they are going to be flexible, adaptable, and they're going to thrive in change. Yeah. And we have Gemini, which is the end of spring. Virgo, which is the end of summer. Sagittarius, the end of autumn. And Pisces, which is the end of winter. Again, they're going to embody those qualities. They're going to embody the fact that it's already the end of the season. So, for example, in the case of Pisces, they are like winter because they were part of the winter season. But what is happening? Spring is coming again. So Pisces has that essence too. There's a change coming. There's a change coming. That's why there's flexibility, adaptability. In the case of Aries, we are going to have cardinal, right? It's going to be, the quality is going to be cardinal. Then we have Taurus, and we've said it's going to be fixed. And then we have Gemini, and it's going to be mutable, right? And that's going to be spring, okay? Exactly. We've said the cardinal, fixed, mutable. But what happens with the elements? We can see that Aries is also an element of, the element of Aries is fire. The element of Taurus is going to be earth. And the element of Gemini is going to be air. And then there's going to be another one. The element of Kark is going to be water. Right? And then it will repeat itself again. Leo is going to be fire again. Right?
Very interesting.
And this is also a very interesting point to remember, Ferdita. There's no combination that is going to be repeated, which means that every sign has a specific combination. Meaning, if we're talking of a cardinal fire sign, we're only talking of one sign, Aries. Because then there's another fire, which is Leo, but it's going to be fixed fire. And there's another fire, which is Sagittarius, but it's going to be mutable fire, right? So that's why they all have their specific characteristics.
Combinations in one chart. But in the chart we see now, the Pisces that we have in the picture, it is like Pisces Ascendant, and we have the moon there too. So it's like, is it important in the way what sign we have in the first house? Is it fixed, or this element? For example, in this case, we have like two things. We have like Pisces and
And yes, you would have Pisces
Right.
Ascendant, right? The fact that you have Pisces Ascendant, it means only one thing. It means water and mutable. That's what it
Yes.
means. It means that it has the element of water and it has the quality of being mutable, which is exclusive to Pisces, the same way all the other combinations are exclusive to the other signs. So yes, that's what would make
in that chart, yeah. And the
Pisces,
moon will affect that thing, since it is in the ascendant or in the chart.
the moon, of course, the moon is going to give its watery quality as well to the ascendant. There's something as well to mention here. We haven't said this, but the signs can be divided into masculine and feminine. This is also very important because as we can all see in the graph on the screen, we have a negative sign and a positive sign. That is specifying which one. Well, in this case, not exactly. Well, yes, I think they have chosen this symbology that way. But yes, in this case, it means that some signs are going to be masculine and the other ones are going to be feminine. In this case, Aries is going to be masculine. Why is that? This is related to the numbers. We go again to numerology, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have number one, even numbers. They're going to be masculine numbers. Aries is number one. So it's going to be a masculine sign.
Yeah.
Taurus is number two.
Feminine.
So it's going to be feminine.
Yes.
Gemini, number three. So it's going to be masculine.
Yeah.
And again, we go to Kark, number four. Exactly.
Feminine,
so it goes
masculine,
again.
Feminine, masculine, feminine.
Yes. Exactly. So that is a third characteristic that we need to remember to understand the signs. When we analyze this, for example, this chart as well, the same example, Pisces Ascendant, we can already see there's a lot of feminine energy there. Why? We're talking of Pisces, which is a feminine sign because it's number 12, all right? The moon is present there. The moon is a feminine sign.
Yeah.
And it's related to the sign Kark, which is nourishment, motherhood, emotions.
Vedic astrology is amazing, like so many details in just one chart. I'm so impressed by this science. It's so beautiful, so correct.
It's such a divine science. It's such a divine science, as Prashant Trivedi reminds us. And
Yes.
he's so knowledgeable when it comes to this science. He's absolutely a master. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, this is a beautiful, truly beautiful divine science. It's not a science from here. It comes from other places. Absolutely. This is divine. It's absolutely divine. The perfection of this science is truly unmatchable. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are so fortunate to have P here on Earth. So he's bringing back the Vedic knowledge and also all which is Vedic, including the astrology. But these houses, do they have like category or more specifications in the houses, maybe?
Yes, Afrodita, yeah. We've talked about the signs, but the houses are also divided into certain subdivisions as well, okay? We can use the same example, this birth chart here with Pisces Ascendant, okay? Mm-hmm. And we can see that inside it, obviously, first of all, we can see it's a square, right? It's a square. Right. Still, it doesn't mean it's a square. We call the birth charts are called chakras, which means a wheel in Sanskrit. But in this case, let's just see the shape is a square and it has a diamond inside, okay? Mm-hmm. Right, and then it has like the square, that shape. So we have Kendra Houses, okay? And if we see this chart here, we can see that the Kendra Houses are the houses that are inside that diamond, all right? Those are going to be the Kendra Houses. We are talking about the first house, fourth, 7th, and 10th, okay? Then we are going to have the Trikona houses. They are number 1. The first house is very special because it is Kendra and it's Trikona at the same time. It's both. It's both. because the trikona are the houses that form a triangle. And it's going to be the first house, the fifth house, and the ninth house. And we can see in this image, if we paint these sub-squares inside the square of the birth chart, we can see they form a triangle, right? So we have the Kendra that they form a cross. Then we have the Kendra, they form a triangle, yeah? And then we have other divisions as well. We have Dushtana houses and Upachaya houses. Dushtana are going to be the 6th, the 8th, and the 12th. Okay. And Upachaya are going to be the 3, the 6, the 10, and the 11th. Okay, so that we can see in this chart. But now we need to know what are Kendra houses, what are Trikona, what is this, okay? Well, Kendra houses, they are very important. They are very important because they are the 4 pillars of the horoscope. And if they're strong, they make the birth chart healthy and very sturdy. Yes, strong. It's a very strong birth chart. They are the square houses, yeah, as we've said, because they form a square. Well, in reality, they form a cross. But we can say a square, but it is a cross, okay? So this diamond inside the birth chart are the Kendra houses, yeah? Then
so you meant healthy, strong, like healthy in the physical?
Not only in the physical, in everything.
Mental, spiritual?
All the fields of life that all these houses are going to be related to, which we haven't talked about this yet. But all these fields of all these areas of life are going to be strong areas. And they are very important, strong areas in life. The first house is your body, so obviously you're going to be strong. Right. But then the 7th house, the person you have in front, the interactions you have are going to be strong. What about your career? What about what you do in this world? That's number 10, is going to be strong. And what about the nourishment and the nutrition and the caring that you got when you were a child?
A holistic point of view.
Exactly, Aphrodite, a holistic combination where this individual is going to have a good foundation for life, all right? But this is just part of, we have more houses. Obviously, this is going to be important, but it doesn't mean that if a person doesn't have strong houses, Kendra houses, that everything is no, it's not like that. We have other houses as well that are equally important. For example, we've talked about Trikona. They are the triangle, okay?
And he has talked about that. 1,
yes.
5, 9. I'm not so very good, but is it called Shri houses or something?
Yes, they are related. They are called benefic or lucky, very lucky houses. Okay, and they are related to one's dharma. Yeah, we have the word karma, but we also have the word dharma. Yes, dharma. Also the good merit, so the past karmas, the good things. They are considered to be divine houses related to one's dharma. Yeah, dharma. That's an important word related to the Trikona houses.
Yeah.
H dharma. You know,
dharma is 159, right?
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. That is what is right. Not dharma is what is right, what is fair, what is just. The goodness of the universe, what is correct. No, that's the word dharma. Dharma means what is correct.
Righteousness, yes, what is right. And we can do it in the present actions, like the right actions, so we can improve our life, our everything.
Exactly, absolutely. So these ones are going to be the 159 that Prashant Trivedi has kindly explained many times about the importance of having a strong 159 as well. And then we are going to have these houses, which are the Dushtana. Okay, the Dushtana, well, they're considered to be a little bit tricky or difficult houses in Vedic astrology because they can bring problems, obstacles, sudden happenings, sudden losses, okay? So we have to remember, like, we mentioned last time when we were talking about Vedic astrology and the types of karma, We were talking that the sixth house was strongly related to our Pravda karma. And the Pravda karma is that karma we are going to experience in this lifetime.
Yes.
Okay, due to our behaviors and deeds in a past life. All right. So the sixth house is the 10th. We will explain all this from the ninth house. The ninth house also represents a past life. So obviously it means what we have to work on in this present. The sixth house means, as we already said, is Pravda karma, what we have to work on in this life. That's why it's called Dushtana. It's considered to be a Dushtana because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It's not like the 1, 5, 9. They are considered to be lucky houses. They are considered to be very benefic houses, very pleasant houses. And then we also have the fifth house, which we've said it was a Trikona house, lucky house, benefic house. Why is this? Because it's ninth from the 9, which means the good deeds we did in a previous life are bringing rewards in this lifetime, which is our fifth house. Okay? Yes. Okay. We already explained that the fifth house represents Purva Punya, which is the good deeds, good things. And the sixth house is Pravda Karma, which is not so good things, things we have to work on in this lifetime. Okay? That will be the general idea of this 6 versus 5. One being the Trikona, the other one being a Dushtana. But now we are going to explain something. Okay, we are going to explain first the Upachaya houses. Upachaya, yeah, they're houses that improve with time. And we have said that the house is 3, 6. 6 is Dushtana, is tricky. We've already said that. But we are saying now it's Upachaya as well. And this is very good news because it means they will improve with time. If one puts effort, they improve with time. It's not that, oh, they're not that good in my birth chart. Everything is lost. It's not like that. If one puts effort, they improve with time. And we have the 10th and the 11th as well. The 3, the 6, the 10, and the 11th, okay? All those houses improve with time and diligent work, not only time, obviously. One has to work in them, okay? So this is a very important detail, and we are going to finish this session today with this note of Ardita. It's very important to remember that the 6th house is Dushtana. Yes, it's an obstacle house, it's a tricky house, but it's Upachaya as well, which means that they improve with time if one is willing to put the work.
That's very good.
That's a happy note to end up with. We end up with a happy note. Okay. That is very important to remember. The 6th house has that dual nature. Yes, it's a tricky house, but it's going to improve with time if one puts diligent work into it. Okay. So I think for today, we have an idea a little bit more of the signs, the houses, and maybe next time we can continue with something else. But I don't know if you have anything else to add, Ferdita, but pretty much
it was a very nice ending with a lot of hope. It means that whatever we have done, like wrong or bad harm or bad karmas from before, it means that Divine is giving us a chance in whatever situation we are, even in the worst situation, if we do the right actions, that P is so kind to teach in Lotus Ocean meditations all over the world. So they can do these basic actions and they can improve themselves in whatever situation, in whatever chart they have. Because as P said, to see one's a chart or horoscope is kind of a horror.
Yes. Yes.
But there is always, anyways, so whatever we have done in the past, there is always hope for doing the right actions in the now. And in Peace Gita, P says actions of the now are paramount, which is true as all the pure principles or all Piti's words in the book are truth. which we use also as a mantras to increase our vibrations and changing our future by the actions in the now. And the 6th house, since we talk about language, the 6th house and the connection, maybe there is a connection of the word six, which means 6th house, and the word being sick.
That is a fantastic connection, Aphrodite. That is a brilliant connection, actually. It seems that very likely that is the case. Very, very likely. Yeah. They're totally related. Yes.
And also the 5th house, you know, in Latin language, pensare, penta, with intelligence and the way of thinking, a high level of way of thinking, which means controlling the mind. The 5th penta and the pensare, pendere. And it's very interesting. It means that this knowledge is so ancient, is Rishi divine knowledge, and P knows this. So we can see clearly how divine he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that connection as well is really good, Aphrodite. Penta, pensare, pondering. Yes, seems to be spot on, actually. So yeah.
And it's like this ancient science, it is timeless, so it means for all time here on earth.
Absolutely.
He's so kind to teach this to us. Very grateful, Tony, for being here with us today. We know so much more and we want to know more. So we're going to have a 3rd part. Grateful to our master, Vedic master, Prashant Trivedi. See you next time with more interesting also as today.
See you.
Rainbow.
Oh, this is a rainbow.
There's been a rainbow the whole time.
Oh, yeah. Pink says they have.
Oh my God! Are you joking?
Yeah, the whole time outside.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, it's been there
the whole time. Do you see it?
Oh my God! So touching. Oh my God! He's amazing.
My goodness, Aphrodite, this is so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
He is too benevolent, too generous, too kind. He's amazing. So beautiful. Wow.
Yeah,
big,
like
vibrant. I didn't expect that.
Right now.
It's true.
I'm
I
so
can hear.
impressed. He's so impressive all the time. Like
It is. Yes.
so much magic. Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at that. Well, do you have something now to put for the end of the video?
And it is recorded. So mind blowing. Like I almost cannot believe it's live and direct.